Hey guys, hey people, hey people. This is Geek Hybrid here, coming to you with a video, a recap of the ages. A recap for the ages. Man, today was an epic day, to say the least. I mean, there were all kinds of stuff going on, malfunctions, technical malfunctions, just all kind of stuff going on. And yet, we had a wonderful day, even through all of that, especially at the end, because at the end, it gets extremely epic and, things just get interesting at the end. So stay tuned. Here we go. Today, I was coming in down by about $870 or something like that. And I just wanted to come in and just start things off right. Just come in and just start strong, and kick things off strong. So, I have been sitting here by this time for a few hours now, and I'm trying to find a good opportunity. I'm trying to find a situation where I can, take advantage of a good spot. Since yesterday, I was taking some sketchy trades that really weren't doing what I was used to them doing, those moves doing. So, I just hope that today was just going to be a tad bit different from yesterday. So, my first trade, as usual, my first trade, I don't think I started out well, but and I tend to do this on most or all of my sessions. I mean, if you've been following my sessions, I mean you've pretty much have seen for yourself the kinds of things that go on during the session. And one of the primary issues that I have going into a session is the first trade. Usually I lose the first trade for whatever reason. It's like the first trade is like the first thing that goes downhill, and and I have to kind of pick things up from there. But today was was no different. I started out kind of sketchy already, and I think this trade here is the trade that I'm going to take, or at least I'm kind of looking around right now. So I'm being extremely apprehensive. Even though a little bit later I get a little more aggressive. Starting out the morning, I was a tad bit apprehensive and a tad bit, just watchful, just trying to pick my spots and trying to see, what's the most accurate spot to get into. And so this is the trade I think I finally get into here. So yeah, I get into this one and it fills, and I'm in at $25 per contract. And there's like a brand new binary cycle, so I'm in with 18 minutes left. And here, the reason why I got in was because of the movement near the 20 period average, near the 20 period moving average. So that's the blue line, if you don't know. And it's making its way down. Now it does go down eventually, but I think I kind of mistimed it on this trade. So on this particular trade, I'm in there, but I'm not really in the position where I want to be because of where it is right now. I think that it's kind of bouncing off of those wicks there. So those wicks at the bottom there on the chart at near that area that's kind of preventing it from sort of making its move or what have you. So I wasn't really able to get that surge I was looking for. But once again, just being patient, just watching things play out, just trying to see what happens. Just trying to just hang on, and I'm in at a good price anyway. So if I lose this, I'm okay with losing this. Even the max loss I'm okay with. I think it's like $350 or something. That's the max loss. So that's how much I'm risking. And I'm okay with that. And if you know me by now, you know that I'm always preaching about being okay with the risk that you take. You have to be okay with the risk. If you're not okay with the risk, you're going to be in trouble, and things aren't going to end too well for you, because you're going to be frantic, you're going to be scared, you're going to be nervous, and you're going to be anxious, and that's just not the way to trade. That's just not the way to trade. So I know what I'm up against, and I know what could come out of this situation. So as you can see on the chart, it's bouncing off of those wicks there, on that high low there, and it's kind of bouncing off of those mini lows there, and kind of just hanging around and teetering around that area. And because I am okay with the max risk, I'm willing to just hold on to it. So I think in this trade, I just went on ahead and just hung on to the whole binary, just hung on to the whole expiration, or at least most of the expiration. And I'm just trying to find out what's going to come out of this. So yeah, so like I said earlier, today was just a wonderful day. Today was just one of those days, man. And I'll be honest with you, and a lot of guys are not going to be honest with you or this transparent with you, but I definitely got lucky today. It was an epic finish, but there was some luck on my side, and I finished strong. I did the things I was supposed to. I got in the places I was supposed to get in, but the way in which the day finished, the way that everything kind of played out, it just so happened to be perfect, and everything just kind of worked out the way that it needed to. And that included the last trade that I took, that I've been excited to talk about this whole time, and that I keep mentioning. But today was definitely one of those lucky days, man. And I'm dead honest, because when I got in later to the trade that I'm referring to, that epic trade, I mean, I just didn't know what to expect, because things were already kind of malfunctioning. I was having a lot of technical difficulties with my laptop, so with my Wi-Fi, and just a lot of things have been going on, especially for the past couple of days. There's been a lot of technical difficulties going on, and I've had to kind of fight through that and trade through that. And I've managed to keep my poise and to sort of keep my wits about myself. So yeah, so that's just how it goes, guys. But I'm absolutely excited about today's finish. I know I keep talking about it, but you guys will see in a minute. So here it looks as if it's just not going to budge, or it's not going to, or it's not just yet going to pass that 20 period average there. So it's not going to pass that blue line just yet, going down, but it is coming down to the downside. So I'm just preparing for that, but I thought it was going to do it around the area I got into in the first place. And it's just not looking good right now, as usual. I'm kind of down on the first trade. This is the very first trade of the morning. So this is about 8:47 in the morning, Pacific Standard. And I'm already down. I just really hate that. I hate being down the first trade. Every now and then, I'll pick some good ones and some good spots, and I'll get off to a good start. But more often than not, it's always this first trade that gets me. I mean, it's always the first trade. So this is no different, guys. So I know that I'm correct about the direction, but it's just timing right now, and it's kind of moving similarly to what it was doing yesterday. And yesterday it was moving back and forth and kind of teetering around, and moving sideways a lot of times throughout the day before making a surge or an initial move. And there was a lot of that going on, and this appears to be some continuation of that behavior in the markets today. So I'm getting a second dose of that movement. And yesterday I was really getting killed by those trades that that were doing that, and when I should have been taking profit in certain areas, which would have put me over significantly into profit, I kept holding on to those trades, similar to this, just holding on to this. The only difference is with this one, I'm holding on to it because I'm okay with the max risk. So and I know there's a pretty good distance between those two binaries, between the price where it is now and the binary I'm in. So I need time to allow it to kind of come down and make its move anyway. So I'm willing to hold this thing all the way through to the end. So I'm right now I'm trying to figure out if I need to get out of this trade, if I need to sort of just cut this loss instead of the max loss, even though I plan on holding it to the end, and I don't mind losing the max. I every now and then I'll still contemplate taking a smaller loss if I know that a particular trade is an absolute lost cause. If I know it's an absolute lost cause, then I'll just do whatever I need to do. But it starts to sort of make its move down, and every time it does little things, teetering back and forth, doing little stuff like that, that a lot of times that prompts me to leave it. That prompts me even more to just leave it alone, because if it is sort of teetering near a price, I just feel like I'm just going to give it a chance to do its thing. But right now it is a little bit far. It's about 16 ticks away from where it needs to be in order to be at the money. But like I said, I've seen crazy things happen in the past, and every now and then I'll just let it be, and just see what happens while I'm waiting for that particular move to happen. But yeah, this initial trade is just mistimed. So I just missed the area, or at least I wasn't patient enough to just wait a little longer until I see a definite move. So that's so that's that. Okay, so we're coming down to the last minute of the binary, and so in this last minute, it started to make its way down. I got in at a particular strike price at 623.5, and right now it's at 627. So this is one of the reasons why I stick around in certain levels and on certain trades, because sometimes it will make a move and it will surge to a level, And in fact, that's what happened later in the day. But anyway, sometimes it will do that, but it clearly didn't do that here, with there being about 16 seconds left. It's about 4 ticks away from the spot, but you know. Seconds, it's starting to make its move, and this is the area I should be getting into. This is actually the area I should be trading. So you see here that I'm already down to 6,740. So I'm down to there. And this happened last week. If you've seen the sessions from last week, I was down lower than this, and I had to make another rally and make another comeback. So here I thought about taking another trade. And but I just stopped myself because I wanted to be a little bit more patient than what I was getting ready to do. So now I'm watching this candle, and I'm pretty much going to wait for the next candle, or at least watch the behavior of this candle. And okay, I went on ahead and got in. I thought I waited, but okay, I got in on this because of the position of this move near the 20 period average. Okay, usually when it's kind of going a little bit farther away from the 20 period moving average, it tends to come back and pull back, and sometimes there's a deep pullback, and that's what's going on here. It's pulling back deeply before it makes another move up. So here I got in because I'm anticipating that it will surely reach or pass the level that I got into right now. So this is actually the trade that I should have waited for. I thought it was going to do it on the last trade, but this trade is definitely going to do it for sure. So I got in to this trade around this time because I didn't want to miss that price. So I'm in at $26 a contract, and I didn't want to miss that price. So I just went on ahead and got in. Plus there's more than enough time to test. So there's about 15 minutes, just less than 16 minutes left in the binary, and it's already tugging and pulling around this range. So that's a good sign when it's making this kind of move, when it's making this kind of movement, but it's going downward, because especially when the candle looks like that, there's a high probable chance that the next candle will definitely surge down and pass that level. And that's what I'm waiting for right now. That's what I'm looking for. So it's already in profit. It's kind of going in and out of profit, but there we go. It's going in profit now. So, and this is still the same candle. So this is one of the reasons why I tend to get in before, before the end of that 5-minute candle, depending on the situation, especially a situation like this, because I don't want to miss a move or miss a good price. So this was a good decision, and right now I'm waiting for a pretty good price. I'm waiting for it to at least get me over 7,000. So I want it to bounce me over 7,000, bounce me back at least up there, and that's what I'm waiting for. And since this is showing the move that I usually get, that I wait for a lot of times, then now I can implement a more of a patient strategy, as opposed to yesterday. Yesterday I couldn't do this because it was always bouncing back and forth. Now it's actually making a smooth move, making a smooth transition downward, and this is what I like. I love these moves because, as you can see, the money's racking up right now. So now I'm going to go ahead and think about taking profit, but there's some malfunctioning going on right now, and this kind of went on throughout the session. So I'm trying to place a trade, but things are freezing on my laptop, and a lot of stuff is going on. So so right now I'm trying to get out. I'm trying to take profit, but first of all, my laptop is freezing, doing different stuff, and then the position wasn't filling. So that was the other thing. So positions weren't filling, and my laptop is kind of acting funny style. So I'm sitting here just in mild frustration because I'm like, I'm trying to take this profit. This is significant profit. I'm well over my $7,000 mark. So I'm back over $7,000, which is where I want it to be. And I'm trying to take profit since I'm in a good position. And it is still not filling, and my computer by now is still kind of acting funny. So my browser's acting funny, my computer's acting funny, so it was just, and this happened at least a couple of other times, especially at the end, in that epic finish. It definitely happened. Like it was even worse then near the end. But you can see here, I'm trying to take this profit. I'm trying to just do whatever. And so I'm just waiting, because now things are kind of cleared up. So I'm trying to wait and see how deep it's gonna go. I just decided to take this profit here at around $500. This puts me at $7,227. So I'm $100 over from my mark from yesterday. So I'm $100 in profit from yesterday. Okay, I still need to get over 8,000, because 8,000 is my highest mark. But as of yesterday, I'm in profit from yesterday, so I'm feeling good about that. So I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm doing well. So here, I was trying to, what was I trying to do here? I don't think I was. Oh, okay. So this is okay. So the video jumped and cut to this area here. Okay, so this is the epic finish, people. This is the epic finish. This 15 minutes, and this is the most epic 15 minutes I've ever been in. Okay, so now just pay attention to what's going on here. Okay, so right now I'm in the trade. Okay. And what happened was I got a little bit pissed off because I didn't fill into the price that I was looking for. I thought I was going to fill at $28 per contract, at least 28, but I ended up at $36 per contract. So I was a little bit pissed about that. Not too pissed, because it's still within my range anyway of where of a price of a position I would get into. But I was just pissed that it filled there at 64. So so anyway, I'm just looking at this. I'm watching it now. I know what it's going to do, because if you look up on the right hand side at the indicative, it's only 7 ticks away from my strike price. Okay, it's only 7 ticks away from there. So I'm not worried about anything. I'm just thinking in my mind it's just a matter of time before it goes down into my favor. So here's where the roller coaster starts. Okay, now mind you, I'm in at $64 a contract. $64. I'm in at $36 a contract. Okay, on the sell side, this thing started out kind of coming down and teetering around my level, or sort of starting to make its way, but then it kind of just goes away from me a little bit during this time. So it kind of goes away a little bit, and so I'm already down $230, $260. I'm down $300. So this thing's kind of just moving around, and again, it's doing what it was doing yesterday. Okay, so yesterday it was kind of doing this thing, moving back and forth, teetering back and forth between levels. And I'm just sitting there watching this thing. And by now, in my mind, I've already prepared my mind to lose this money. As crazy as it seems, I'm already prepared to lose the money. So I'm thinking in my head, the prices at this point, it's about 12 ticks away now. It was at 7 ticks away. Now it's 12 ticks away. And I'm down $350. And I'm gonna be honest with you, right about now, the only thing I'm thinking about probably is just cutting my loss possibly in half because of the way it's moving. I'm like, if this thing could just come down and just give me half of this back. If I could just go down to like 125, 150, somewhere around there, I could still have over 7,000, and I can continue on from here, or I can just stop. And I think I would have continued even if I did implement that strategy and just cut half of this loss. But that's kind of what I'm prepping for. So I'm still a little bit poised. I'm still kind of just chilling out, just watching it. But I'm also prepared to accept the full risk as well, if I do in fact stay and stick to this trade. So right now, I'm down between 300 $350. Is kind of moving around between that between those two numbers, between those two levels. And I'm just sitting and waiting. There's 10 minutes left in the binary, and as soon as the time past 10 minutes, that's where it just starts to really get crazy, because now the binary is going to start, changing its values, and it's going to start, making me lose even more money, meaning that it's going to pretty much, reach, the $90 level, and it's pretty much going to try to max out the binary, which will leave me at maximum loss. So as you can see, I'm clicking around the binary. I'm like clicking around the position because I'm contemplating getting out. I'm really contemplating getting out by now. I'm like, I'm just sitting there thinking like this thing could go the other way. Like this thing could easily go the other way, but the way that it looks and the way that it's behaving and the way it's performing, I'm like, this thing is going to go down though. It's just, I don't expect it to just have a surge upward, but what I was thinking was this thing could just stick to this level. It could just stay there, and just kind of move between that level, like between this candle and the next 5-minute candle. It could just teeter around that area, and I just lose all of the risk there. But then it starts to make its move on the way down. I think maybe in the next minute or so, it's going to start, showing signs of going down. Now, because on this screen right now, my chart, it looks a little bit far away, but you can see on the webcam that I'm kind of close to the laptop, so I can see this candle, the current candle, and the position that it's in right now. It's absolutely in a downward position, in a sell position. So I know that this thing is going to come down eventually. I don't know how hard or how deep. I don't know how hard or how deep it's going to go down, but I know that it's going to go down. And there's 7.5 minutes left in this binary. Now I'm left with a decision, because I'm like, this thing is 5 ticks away from my strike price, and there's only 7 minutes left in this binary. So now I have a different mentality, because now I'm like, This thing actually could touch, depending on where this candle ends, where it closes. The next candle I know for sure is going to come down. So now I'm thinking in my head, okay, so right now I'm still over $7,000. This thing, is doing what I was hoping it would do, so that I can think about at least cutting my losses. But it's looking so good right now with it only being 5 ticks away. I'm feeling good about what may happen next. So right now I'm only $11 down from my price area, and I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm like, there's 6 minutes left in the binary, and this candle appears to be making its move down, setting up the next candle. So now I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, this candle is going to set up the next candle. And I'm like, I think I can actually do this. So I'm sitting there, and and of course, as you can see on my face, I'm not showing any emotion, or at least that kind of emotion. I'm just I'm watching very, 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 very closely, and I'm just watching with full attention. So with that said, even though I'm kind of watching very seriously, and I'm kind of just watching what's going on, this is running through my mind. Like, truly, like, to keep it real, like this is absolutely running through my head. So I'm sitting there, I'm strategizing, I'm saying, okay, this thing is now 4 ticks away. So if this thing is 4 ticks away, I think this thing is going to make a last minute rally near the end. That's what I was thinking in my mind. I'm like, okay, it's kind of moving back up, but now I'm like, I think I'm just going to go for all the marbles. So I just stay there. Now if I would have stuck to my previous mindset, I would have just gotten out of it. Like around there, I would have just gotten out of it. But now it's going down, and now it's surging. As soon as the new candle hit, it just boom, put me right in profit. So now I'm watching this thing. Now I'm like, oh, this thing is going to pass my price, and it's going to give me some good money. So now I'm trying to take profit. I can't take profit because why? Because it's not filling. That's the first thing. So the first of all, it's not filling, but most importantly, my computer is acting up again. My computer is tripping again. So now I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, why is this thing doing this, right? So I'm like, why now? I'm sitting there thinking, like, why now? And I'm clicking this thing, it's coming back up, it's knocking me back out of profit, and I'm like, oh my Lord, there's 3 minutes left on this thing. Now you see there where it says canceled is where it's not filling. It kept slipping out because the volatility kind of started to pick up. So I'm like, man, what the heck is going on here? So I'm shaking my head. I'm pissed off by this time, because I'm like, I could have been up by like $500-600. I could have been up by some really good money, and would have at least set myself up for momentum for tomorrow. But now I'm way out of profit again. I'm in the red again. So I'm sitting there. There's 3 minutes left. I'm 3 ticks above my strike price. If you look on the upper right hand side, I'm 3 strike, and pay attention to that. Pay attention to that because of what happens later. But this thing is just moving up now. So now I'm like, oh man, here we go. This thing is touching that low, and it's on its way up. So I'm thinking like, okay, what the heck, man? So I'm really pissed off, and I know it's gonna come back down, because it usually does that. Like, it'll kind of have an initial move up, like it'll bounce off a price, and then it'll come and retest. So I knew it was gonna retest, so I stayed in it. Right now I'm down by like $400. This thing is down, my account is way down again, down to the 6,000 level, and I'm just disappointed by this time because of what just happened, what just transpired. I couldn't take money out. I couldn't close the position because my computer, and then it wasn't filling, so it was just bad all the way around. So I'm just tripped out right now. And there's 2 minutes left in the binary. So there's 2 minutes left in the binary, and I'm really tripped out right now because now it's teetering again. Now it's teetering around these levels. Now it's like, it's decision time again. I'm only 4 ticks away from my price area. So I'm like, okay, this thing could make another run down. If this thing makes another run down, I'll be in the money again. And so since there's a minute 50 to go, I'm like, all this thing has to do, and you see me kind of moving the mouse around, just circling that area. Since it's not showing over there on the ticket, then you should draw your attention to the position at the bottom then, where it says indicative. Just pay attention to that, man, because this thing just comes down, and not only that, but I see it coming down. I'm like, okay, it's doing it again. It's a minute and a half. There's a minute and a half left. And now I'm back in profit again. So I'm back in profit. I'm trying to take profit. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I'm like, I'm trying to take profit. I'm trying to click on the position. Look at this. I'm way in the money now. So I'm trying to take this money. People like, look at this. Like, I'm trying to take this money, right? And look, I'm like out of profit again. And I'm sitting there pissed. You see me shaking my head. I'm pissed off. Now it's 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. I'm like literally like a few ticks, like micro ticks away from the area. So 10 seconds left. This thing, it freezes, right? The whole thing freezes, people. I don't know what the heck happened. So I'm sitting there. I'm highly disappointed. I noticed the indicative though. I seen what happened, and I'm like, wait a minute. Did it get it? And it actually cleared and expired below my price. So I made the full profit. I'm over $8,000 again. This was such an epic finish. This was so crazy because everything was frozen. The computer was frozen. Everything was just tripping. I couldn't get out. I couldn't get Phil to get out. None of that kind of stuff. And it was just crazy, man. It was a trip. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that session, and I hope you guys just learned something from that or what have you. But yeah, until next time, Geek Hybrid signing out. You guys stay tuned for tomorrow's session. You guys have a good day.